Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy MC Fire coming at you again with another live trading session. We are already in relatively deep. I would say we've got a butterfly on XPS here. Can't see the actual trade, so let me move this over. But yeah, so on the 2 minute, you notice as it comes down to this weekly support level here, it's looking like it wants to react off of it. We already have had significant move to the downside, kind of within the area within our butterfly. So already at like 100% return potential right now. We do have a 50% trailing stop on it for a break. I don't think it will break because if you look back here on the 10 minute, uh, 3 days ago, broke out of the range at made highs, and it's been rotating between its all-time highs and this level in kind of a clean fashion. So if it does break today, that'd be very interesting to say the least. Also, you gotta think it's Tuesday, and today is gonna be a pretty dicey day for the market. It's not exactly the best of days to want to kind of take a trade here, but or the best of weeks, I should say, to want to take a trade here. I'm gonna pull that up for you guys, but yeah, it's gonna be a good day for us, seeing as our butterfly is already stroking Occam. What are we doing? We've got instead of Forex Factory. Yeah, I want to bring this up so you guys, if you're not tracking the Forex calendar, we've got it for you. So today is Tuesday, and what's going on this week? We got Tuesday. The the Brits are having a meeting. Um, yeah, the Brits are having a meeting on Tuesday, and then our big sling of the mud is Wednesday and Thursday. So core PPI and unemployment claims will be Thursday, and you also have Wednesday core PPI. So tomorrow's going to be really cool for us. We will be putting on we'll probably be putting on dual um, what can I say, dual butterflies in that sense. So kind of excited because the volatility, it could go either way, and because of the increased volatility, one will probably pay for the other. That's the game plan for tomorrow, Thursday. If the volatility is really high, just kind of throw in there the VIX. Also was pretty considerable. It had a nice little juicy bump. So yesterday the VIX was around 12, and today it's like 13. So yes, there is some fear in the market relative to where it has been, like towards the lows, 11, 12ish area. So ripe and due for maybe some volatility going in there. But the reality is nobody really knows what the market's going to do. I know really nobody. So it's just that idea that you're going to be prepared for either one. If you're tracking our meta trade, it had a nice little pop earlier in the morning before it subsided to like what the rest of the market's doing, especially the Qs, XLK. Um, hasn't necessarily got beat down too heavy when you look at its relative rotational low. Not even really close. Not anywhere for us to make a decision. Unlike the SPY, so SPY is a little different. So something to watch out for. Hopefully, it kind of tapers off a little bit, and maybe we see some rotation. But the XLK holding pretty tough. When you think about what's in the XLK, we'll pull it up real quick. We've got their technology sector, all pretty much double green except for maybe Adobe and Cisco and Accenture, ACN, right? Everything else is either like neutral or double green. Under Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, uh, definitely popping to new highs even after the after the split, I think. Hold on, we'll pull it. We'll open it up. Did it actually get that high in regular trading? That is wild. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So on the day, yeah. So after the split, I guess it had maybe like a weird pop to 195. I didn't hear anything about that, so maybe that's just a glitch on the computer. But yeah, currently price is at 121, and because of that, it's kind of in its upper range or the lower part of this range here. So it's just something to think about. You don't necessarily have to trade it. It's just what's going on in the market today. What else we got on the XOK? Um, AMD potentially could be looking for a buy there. I think we talked about that in one of our other previous videos. So I'm not surprised if the XLK continues to push because a lot of these, like the Microsofts and the Apples, are in a pretty juicy spot here right now. Like Apple just looked like it broke the rotational level to approach highs. So something to think about, man. Yeah, if Apple's pushing up, then the XOK is going to get a nice bump. AMD kind of laggard, so if it keeps with this relative weakness, we could probably take it off the list as a potential buy. But Apple, got Adobe here, Qualcomm doing its thing, man. Uh, a lot of strength, a little extended though. This is a weekly, but it's still a little extended, so not necessarily in position for us to want to take root and take hold of that bad boy. What else we got? Yeah, man. So, well, hello, Bitcoin. Yeah. So, that's another thing too. Bitcoin approaching this rotational level, stroking down from highs at around 64 to 59. When you look at how Bitcoin's holding up, really hasn't gone anywhere different or anywhere new. Um, Other than the fact that it could break below that rotational level. If it does, we could see it approach these and rotate between here and here. Remember, the yellow line isn't necessarily the weekly chart. It's like a almost like a daily or a point of interest. So the rotational zone for the weekly is the white lines. Just so we're all tracking. Um, so there is that, and back to the cues. So are we getting a bounce here? Let's see. We haven't heard any alerts for our trigger, so it could be continuing down, or XSP, excuse me. Yeah, we haven't heard any. It hadn't taken us out quite yet, but we do potentially see. If you notice, and I'm glad I brought you guys in when I did. When you see it's approaching this weekly level, it does tend to respond. Now, is it going to get a full reversal? Maybe, maybe not, but waiting and being patient for that. It's pretty neat. And what you're getting is a whole kind of confirm that. Also, a trend change on your expansion contraction in the short term. So in the 10-minute, also you're coming out of a 2 standard deviation. All those factors, all in one, would mean that you might take a short term, a vertical, maybe sell a vertical here, sell a vertical put. That'd be pretty good. And we could actually, let's set that up. Maybe you can get back. We're a little late. Ideally, we'd want the previous bar there, but we'll go ahead and put it on. So how we would set that up? We want to sell puts. So we will sell this put, and we will buy back this. We'll buy back. We'll buy back this put. We'll just take the best fill. Confirm its end. Cool. So there it goes. So we're in the trade for call credit spread, or so we're selling puts. Basically, as it kind of trades up here, we want to let the we're ideally trying to let it get back up to the moving averages, and then we'll let it go. But as theta decays, we'll still be gaining premium for that. So we're profiting two different ways. Obviously, our stop would be the low of here. Um, and then our take profit would be, whatever the moving average is. I like to put the distance halfway between the moving average to give me a heads up between the entry and the moving average. But if it touches the moving average or VWAP, that's kind of where we would be looking to exit. And so we're getting up there, getting up there, getting up there. So we'll see. It could be a dud, might not be, but we'll hold to the plan there. If we go to the monitors tab, here XSP trade. Nice. Says P&L open -12. Okay, cool. Trying to see where our butterfly was. Did our butterfly get taken out? Oh, don't tell me he used one of the legs. It might have used one of the legs for that butterfly. Okay, it might have used one of the legs for the butterfly. That's so goofball. What do you do? Sell this position? We probably need to buy this position back. Can I just completely botch this? I think I did. You guys get to see me botch it live. So in these instances, right, I literally just close everything out and reset it. So we'll go sell this, we'll buy this, and we'll sell this, right? Completely get out of this. It's essentially an unbalanced, what seems to be an unbalanced fly. And we'll just go ahead and confirm and send and completely get out of there. Close everything out, reset it. Whenever that happens, I'm glad I showed this. Whenever that happens, guys, don't try to fix it. Don't try to, if you get into a play accidentally, and it wasn't your plan, or you get into a play in reverse, get out. Just get out as fast as possible. Do not try to stay in there and worry about the play. Don't do that. So we'll go to our mall. We're trying to get out as fast as possible. We'll actually just tell it to place get out at market. However, it figures that out. We're telling it, hey, we want to get out. We want to get out as fast as possible, and there it is. So we got out of those plays, okay. And monitor via wise, it's saying, P&L on the day total was $32. For that, I'm not sure what the cost was for everything. I think that the butterfly was actually pretty cheap. It was like in the 30s. So profit wise, we made profit on the butterfly, and if we took any heat on the vertical, it was minuscule. So I could settle for that. Now, if it pulls back, let's see where we are relative to SPY. Yeah, we're looking for it to get back to its moving averages. Don't want to necessarily get in late. We could get in here, but we'll go ahead and just wait for the next potential setup. If it pulls back down to our entry, cool, we'll take it. But if it does not, then we'll let it do its thing. A little unfortunate there. I had the butterfly on, and the butterfly already ran its course anyway because it already came in. We were profiting, and it's starting to look like it wants to bounce anyway. So, but yeah. What else we got? So that is SPY. We'll jump back to the Qs real quick. See if they're seeing very similar price action. They are. And if you notice, this bounce down here, there's no necessarily, excuse me, there is a intermediate resistance. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. If we're placing like a rotational zone, like intraday rotational zone, then you have like like, okay, this is actually where it could potentially rotate in this level. It is going to rotate here. You did your whole moving average. SPY also confirms that. That's a good thing for us, because we're leveraging the Qs. So any bounce in the Qs is pretty good. Ideally, you would want to see a vertical around this area, back up to the moving average, and you could hold that until maybe it completes rotation. But for us, not necessarily looking to get into it right now after that last fiasco for sure. Um, so kind of what do you do for the rest of the day if you're just being patient? Um, that's kind of the name of the game for trading. So the reality is stuff like that happens. You get into a trade unexpectedly, and you have to close it out or whatever. Maybe you can re-enter. But mentally, for me, I don't like to do that. I don't like the aspect of you made a mistake and you know hurry up and fix it. You can fix it, but the way I fix it is closing it out. So I just close that bad boy out and let it do its thing. As it continues to rise, it is reacting off that weekly level. So these guys right here, let's see if we can get some volume bars there. Um, so the volume is saying these guys right here in this general area for SPY, it's kind of average volume. Most of the heavy hitters were right here. You can see by this tall volume bar. But this is relatively average. And this move isn't supported by increasing volume. It's actually decreasing volume. So all that tells me is that it takes less people to get these guys trapped. So these could be some trap traders, and there might be potential follow through on the play. Just looking at the volume imbalance, right? More players down here getting caught up, and it takes fewer participants to actually get the ball rolling in the other direction. That's an imbalance. Would have been perfect for our vertical. So the trade idea was correct. Execution wasn't too good. But because we had that butterfly on and we were already profitable, and to get out, we were actually still profitable overall in the play from this morning. I think we executed the butterfly like here, and it came into our zone, and so we got out at 100% profit, or roughly around 100% profit. So shout out to us. But the vertical is gonna kind of hurt like a couple of dollars the other way. So let's see what else we have on the playboard here. So Amazon coming into this weekly zone, popped into it. Would have been very nice to take a play off that. Again, I know I don't know why people kind of make this whole process super complicated. It's not. It's basics for when it comes to bouncing off of support and resistance, off especially the weeklies. The higher the time frame, typically the more powerful the resistance level. And if we look out here, um, this is Amazon coming up against pretty stout resistance level, especially when you look at it as a head and shoulders, right? When you look at it as a head and shoulders, it comes up, pops down, goes above, comes down. This is your neckline. This could be your neckline break. So if you see it go below this week, you know, um, there could be some potential for it to complete the rotation. And as let's say we look here, a play would potentially be as it enters these bands here, pushing back down, that would be a play for very short term, maybe a vertical, there. As you can see already, uh, came off, whole moving average went red. Definitely a trigger for you to potentially take that short. Short here, really good for probably a vertical stop out at the highs right there. And then as it pushes, you're just getting premium as well as price movement. As it bounces into VWAP, it's reacting off of VWAP. It's not just, there's no V-shaped recovery. It is potentially stage two to the downside here. And then when you look at this rotational level here, um, and any other pre-market or post-market rotational levels, yeah, you're looking at it as, yeah, it's doing what market theory would suggest. Let's see, put that there, put on the cans, right? Yeah, so nice little resistance there. And then where else we have intraday resistance? We'll mark it up for you guys, and we'll do it live. Build it while we fly, right? So easy day. There's your intraday resistance, especially on the 10 minute. That's why I like the 10 minute. I like just a clean, um, nice clean zones in 10 minutes. 10 minutes kind of give me that decent spacing. So there's your potential intra weekly resistance, intraday resistance levels, and support levels, and it's reacting off of those pretty juicy. We would have liked to have been there for the first one. I would almost venture to say this is fair value. So because it's below here, we could potentially see a vertical at least to the lows. Be my guess. Not really interested in taking this one. Uh, would be more prone or more interested to take it if we were taking it off the highs, or even better if it was a buy, buy setup for Amazon. So we'll let that bad boy ride. But yeah, after this huge rejection, follow through probably could be in order. We'll actually put an alert to see if it actually crosses above its VWAP, just so we can come back to it, see what the result was in this short-term time frame, because anything can happen. All right, pushing on to a big boy, right? Nvidia has, again, it's at its highs, but this weekly resistance level it's tested multiple times. So the idea is if it comes back down, look to take a play up or down on Nvidia. With Nvidia or anything that's pretty pricey and highly volatile, like getting second and tertiary confirmation is probably preferred. I don't tell people to avoid things that are, pricey or super volatile. In fact, you need the volatility to be profitable. The only difference is what I've seen with a lot of guys, watching guys that are successful, the primary break, they might not take that, but like a double bottom or even a triple bottom, they'll take that because they want that confirmation that the market has established that there are buyers that do consistently step in at these levels, and that I'm not going to get caught out there. And then you got, let's see. So this is also something to note, actually, for UUP. Breaking above this level means that, really, if people are, if the dollar value is going up, UUP is going up, then that means people are anticipating that their dollar is going to be more valuable, which means that I would get um, out of something that's unsure or risk on, get out, and cash is king. So I know my dollar will be very valuable in the future. So this is actually pretty telling. We don't know what the reports are going to be tomorrow, but the fact that it's already kind of drifting upwards does bode a lot to kind of what's going on in the drag we're seeing in the market. If the dollar's value is increasing, you're going to see people potentially sell off for taking risk off and getting more value for just holding, currency essentially. RRC, what can we say about Mr. RRC? Um, Definitely pushing. That's why it's in the bull lineup here. Not quite sure what RRC job. I don't know all of 4,000 some odd stocks in the markets, but Range Resources kind of are pushing highs. And if I was looking at it like from a buy trigger perspective, I would say yeah. If it continues to push like 1% above highs, like right here, I could see it potentially stair step upwards. You see clear buying pressure by it making higher highs and higher lows, right? Relatively. So if it does this and continues to push, maybe you could see just a complete of rotation to the upside. What I worry about stuff like this is ideally you'd want to buy the dip and catch the rotation. So having marked it up, don't plan on making any plays on that bad boy. You've got Merrick though, really strong even in its what sector it's in, and it's at highs. So I'm not looking to necessarily make a play on that unless it's you know we take like say a vertical off the bounce off the high, pretty strong resistance level. But you notice again buying pressure here. We'll mark that up for you guys. There's a lot of buying pressure here. So with the buy pressure there, in this, if the more ideal play is if you see it come back down to this level here, and you can get in, have it come down and pick you up. If it doesn't, don't chase. But the next thing to see is if it breaks, retest this, and look to push to new highs. That's what I would be concerned to see if at this stage. So those would be the two hypotheses. We'd see it come down, show buying pressure, take the play from there, or break the highs, retest, push. We've got Visa, and Visa's kind of doing that right now. So we can put an alert at this rotational level. Shout out to our Darvis indicator there. When it gets down to that zone, potentially could look to see how it reacts. Give us heads up, say how are you reacting? Can we potentially make a play on you at the lows? A more aggressive play at the low here would be, let's say you get a vertical at this point with a stop out at the low. And you look to add once it breaks above the 8, gives you actual buy trigger. If you notice Visa, right, its earnings calls have been pretty good and its dividends are actually pretty good as well. So not too bad. Not too bad at all, Mr. Visa. Full bear list. We'll go see what's going on the red side. We got a lot. So we'll start with the day squeezes here. I got any day squeezes? Yeah. See some Forex. Yeah, heck yeah. So it's a 6C. Again, a lot of selling pressure. It's been that way for a hot minute, and it doesn't look to be changing that trend anytime soon. You could potentially see I guess a gap below this. I'm not sure because we had an alert here. Oh, above that. Yeah, so we put this here. Like, so if it breaks and it starts crossing back to the upside, we want to know. We want to know if you start crossing back to the upside, because if you complete that rotation, we could have a play up to the 21 on a vertical, or we could have a play all the way up to complete this rotation. It has given enough space, and just looking at it, it looks like they could do that for sure. So, but who knows? Nobody knows, right? As we come down here, it's approaching a level. We put these here because it's approaching levels of rotation. These guys, now there is a wider rotation, but this has been more active. The $1 and one decimal 11308 level, that price level, and the 1.0659 level. those two levels have been a lot more active than the say like super pivot high and pivot low. So this is why I put the alert here. If we want a complete rotation, let me know, and we could potentially set up a play for it to complete rotation with the same risk management, of course. Comes down here, break below the low, we let it go, and if it pushes, awesome. We're riding home the mama. Let's go look at com. This is the the euro. Let's go to Comcast. So hey, Mr. Comcast. Not really much to write home about here. I believe Comcast is in the XLC, which is actually a pretty good, which should be a pretty solid market. We'll actually pull it up and see why Comcast is in the dumps here. XLC, Boom Communications. Yeah, so Comcast. So relative to its competitors, really, you got Charter and you got T-Mobile. Got you. So the guys that are outperforming definitely the XLC, that's really carrying the XLC. Definitely Netflix for sure, Meta, and double Google. You also got TMUS lined up here, so definitely they're leading the charge in the XLC. Everything else is kind of slumped, including Comcast. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but the XLC receives it pretty favorably. That mixed bag, it's pushing and breaking highs. So when you look at the what I talk about constantly, the looking at your tools like your bar chart and this and that. We'll see if we can pull it up for you. Got you. Got a lot of windows open on this side, right? Bar chart. Cool. Oh, here we go with the bar chart. We've got our bar chart. And the XLC communication services is absolutely crushing it right now. Netflix, Meta, absolutely crushing it. It's been crushing it for actually a while. Followed closely by tech. Now, arguably, I say tech gets a lot more juice because tech, Nvidia and the big names, but XLC is slept on outside of Netflix. So we're going to try to see what went off. We'll go market watch. Price condition at or below active. What triggered? Looking for something that triggered on 125. Okay, the last thing it said was Amazon, so I don't know what that was. We'll get back out of here. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I think we'll wrap up here in a little bit. But I hope you guys are getting value out of this. It's good that I kind of showed you guys what to do to when you get into like a situation where you're unsure. Just get out, do the reverse of what you did. So if you bought, sell. If you sell, bought. And I did that pretty quick. Let's go. All right. What do we got here? Huge rejection. So, oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So Amazon did end up coming up here, breaking that. Didn't complete the rotation. So the downside, our hippo for that was inaccurate. So shout out to Amazon for coming in, showing some strength after this big push. We'll see if it falls through. Right. Still has to get out of this hot water, getting rejected again. Big scheme of things for Amazon is what it's approaching was the high, and it had a major rejection off of the last rotational high. Not all-time highs, but really the rotational high that we have here. And then if we go back to XSP, where we make our money, right? Same thing. Vertical would have been very juicy here. Went on and let it go. Not interested in chasing, but the hippo there was actually pretty accurate. And this is about the area where we would have let it go. So it would have been a nice juicy dollar plus the time decay. And if you notice with SPY, like we were saying, SPY, um, the guys that you're assuming are getting trapped down here have way higher volume than the initial push. So there's an unbalance here where all these guys are getting paid where these guys are getting paid, and these guys are going to let go of their positions, having to buy it back. You're seeing a V-shaped rally. It's a good way to use volume to see trap traders. Kind of like a divergence. If you guys know anything about divergences, it's just it's a one of the very few leading indicators that I would say you actually have is divergence. Mastering divergence in all of its capacities, whether it's MACD or RSI divergence or whatever. You'll find divergences in the market. I think the best divergence is a cumulative delta divergence. That kind of divergence is super powerful because you're seeing net buyers and sellers that are hitting the ask. And so who are aggressive, who are looking to execute quickly to meet bid and ask, typically, right? So yeah, it would have been a very nice vertical here. Didn't get it, messed it up for you guys, but you saw what happened, and it was a good look. Again, I'm not tripping, not worried about one individual trade. We were profitable on XSP for today, so shout out to us. So if you guys have been liking what you've been seeing, go ahead and hit that like, comment, subscribe. We would love to hear from you guys. So glad the hypothesis worked. Unfortunately, the trade didn't work. You saw it live. Not perfect, but the good news is this is fun to me, and we like being profitable. So you guys have a good one. Have a good day. Peace.